Greetings. A good day to each and every one of you. Welcome. Welcome to Inner Light Ministries weekly virtual offering. I'm Rev D, Reverend Deborah Johnson. And as always, I am so pleased to be spending this time with you. I'm going to invite you wherever it is that you are to just stop for a second. Just stop. Take a couple of deep breaths. Just allow yourself to be fully present. We're so busy being busy. we're we're supposed to be human beings, but it's like we're human busyins. Um, and I want to seriously invite you just to take this time to not be multitasking, to not be doing a whole bunch of other things that are vying for the attention or to be distracted, but to give yourself the gift of the stillness, to give yourself the gift of simply being aware. I know that there's something that transpires here. I don't know what it is. I don't even know what time it is that you might be tuning into this. I don't know if this is your first time or whether you've been with us for decades. I don't have to know all of that. I don't even have to know you personally because this is a spirit to spirit thing. There's really only one of us here. There's only one of us here. I would look forward to having a chance to meet each and every person that's tuning into this. But what I know is that if you're here, it's a divine appointment, that there's something that spirit is wanting to convey to you. So I just pray in this moment that whatever it is that needs to be said is said. Whatever needs to be understood is understood, whether it's actually said or not. And that each and every person leaves this space uplifted, inspired, feeling like they have just a little closer walk with the divine. Yes. And while we're talking about this, I'd like to remind you of our purpose statement, this reason why we come together in the first place. It comes up on your screen. You can read it along with me. Inner Light is an open, diverse, inclusive community of individuals and organizations dedicated to spiritual transformation. We provide tools for activating higher possibilities by applying universal spiritual principles to all circumstances. Our aim is personal and global healing through the omni-faith energy of love and the revealing of our own inner light. Promoting life's sacred interconnectedness, we embody spiritual oneness. We appreciate individualized expressions, and we honor all paths that lead to spiritual truth, justice, and ecological regeneration. Thank you. I want to put a little bit of extra effort, a little extra emphasis on that last part about our sacred interconnectedness. That's actually going to be the theme that we're going to be talking about today, which is our holy relationships, and how there are many different paths. Okay, there's not just one path, there are many paths. And we honor the paths that lead to truth. Okay, we're not honoring all paths, but the paths that lead to truth. And you may say, well, how do you know what the truth is? I don't. I can't say definitively what is like the truth. You can't take something as infinite as that and put it into finite terms. We can't do that with anything. What is life? What is art? What is love? You can't really define it, but we know how it operates. Okay. We know its qualities. We know its principles. We know what it looks like when it shows up. We know art when we see it. We can't define it. We know love when we see it. We can't define it. But we know when it's being fully activated, and we can tell when it's not. Well, it's the same thing with truth. When truth is really activated, it is inclusive. There's room for everybody and everything in the truth. It doesn't leave anything out. Okay. The truth is consistent. It's not flip-flopping and changing around with culture or history or tradition. It's not impacted by time. That truth literally is forever. It's everywhere available. It can't be stored. There's not more of it someplace else than there is someplace other. There's not more truth in the Himalayas than there is when somebody hits the gutter in recovery. You're going to find the same God. One's just a little bit more scenic route than the other one. So we care about those things that lead to more compassion, more kindness, more oneness. Okay. The truth is equality and dignity, respect, justice. These things are part of truth. And if there are traditions that are being divisive, if there are traditions that are trying to convince you that you are less than, or that you are not deserving, that it's not a friendly universe, and that the powers that be somehow or another are not favoring you while they're favoring everybody else, that's not truth. That's not true. I know sometimes we've been raised with these different ideas, and it may take a minute for us to unpack all of that. But part of what we do here at Inner Light is invite you to unpack all of that. I like the way that Lao Tzu puts it. He says that in the Tao Te Ching, he says, in the pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. But in the practice of the Tao, in the practice of the presence, every day something is dropped. It's dropped. Okay. So we're not here to add on to you. You're already perfect, whole, and complete. Okay, that we're not trying to do that. You're already it. Our job is just simply to get the mud, the crud out the way. Okay, for us to unleash those possibilities that are lying within us. Our purpose statement talked about us offering tools that help us get to this place of personal and global healing. One of the tools that we offer every week are affirmative activations. Okay. These are principles and concepts. They are perceptions, they're practices, they're ways of being in the world that if we really let it take root within us, okay, it bears good fruit. But it's in the embodiment that it takes place. Okay. So they're going to come on your screen. I'm going to invite you to say them along with me now. People come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I allow my relationships to fulfill their holy purpose. I release expectations of holy relationships being cloaked in bliss. Holy relationships are about growth and healing. I am ready for every lesson that relationships have to teach me. I don't need to know the curriculum before I sign up for the course. The universe brings to us opportunities to expand beyond our comfort zones. I appreciate the ways in which we are mirrors and reflections of one another. Relationships, even the hard ones, are sacred to me. Soak that in for a moment. Notice if there's something that's really calling you. Maybe it's people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and you're going like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Just notice. Or maybe holy relationships are about growth and healing. Notice if there's anything that you're finding a little challenging or resisting. Like, I appreciate the ways in which we are mirrors and reflections of one another. Or I'm ready for every lesson that relationships have to teach me. Perhaps even I release expectations of holy relationships being cloaked in bliss. Just notice. And I invite you to come back. Come back. You can find them on our website. You can come back and watch this online on our YouTube channel, where this particular time together will be archived. You can use your phone right now, take a snapshot of it or a screenshot if you're on your computer. But it's the coming back to it, the repetition of it that allows it to take root. So we breathe it in. So also in preparation for our talk today about holy relationships, we're going to listen to some music. It's by the group Empty Hands.
Yeah, we all hurting, but it feel like we can't escape. We all skating, and it feel like the ice gonna break. We all breaking down, but nobody feeling my pain, your pain. But the good gon' come someday. Feel like we're talking in a bubble, but we're walking into trouble. Cause we ain't trying to listen, so we're mocking one another. Though we ought to be my brother, but we vote in different colors. Feels like we're choking each other. But the good gon' come. And the media don't eat what they're feeding us. I wish it was hope, but it's the same greed and fear that just might tear us apart. Right down at the seams again. But if you trust like I do, go grab your thread and needle. Cause we're stitching this back together for the weak and the feeble. For the rich and the poor, it's not good versus evil. We the brother, we the mother, we the sister, we all equal. We the ones to form a more perfect union for we the people. Yeah. Let's come together now. When we come together, then it's alright. Together we can make it through this fight. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come. Don't ever let them tell you that there's two sides. Trying to figure out who's wrong and who's right. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come. Yeah, we the people from Honolulu to Baltimore, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Anchorage, back to Arkansas. We the same people whose ancestors came off the shore. Some of us were already here. These are all of our stories. Who's ever prized freedom to dream of what's possible. For the right to breathe in life, be treated in the hospital. The right to speak my mind and overcome the improbable. The white, black, brown, every skin color possible. We the same people with the same color of blood. The same people who mourned when 9/11 was done. The same people that stand in line to vote for what we believe in. And when we disagree, to still agree to disagree with it. That's why we're here, the land our grandparents dreamed of. No matter where your roots are, the fruits are the same love, the same hopes, the same pursuit of happiness to keep on. Realize there's never been two sides, it's just we the people. When we come together, then it's alright. Together we can make it through this fight. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come. tell you that there's two sides. Trying to figure out who's wrong and who's right. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come. Yeah, realize there's no enemy lines. And every time we listen, we build heavenly ties. And every time we pray, we're changing the environment. It used to be hate, now I'm breaking down smiling. Don't ever let them tell you different, cause that's my ego saying you can't make a difference. Cause only we know that if we learn to love and listen, we can see no other way to break it down than we the people. When we come together, then it's alright. Together we can make it through this fight. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come. Don't ever let them tell you that there's two sides. Trying to figure out who's wrong and who's right. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come. Yeah. When we come together, then it's alright. Together we can make it through this fight. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come. Yeah. Don't ever let them tell you that there's two sides. Trying to figure out who's wrong and who's right. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come. All I wanna say is that the good gon' come.
Huh. Just breathe that in for a moment. We the people. We're going to be talking today about holy relationships. I used to have the idea that some relationships were holy and some were not. Or maybe some relationships were holier than other relationships. I might not have always used the word holy. I might have thought of it as more spiritual. But nonetheless, that in my mind, it was categorized in some kind of way. And not all relationships were falling under that umbrella of holy. Furthermore, the holy relationships in my mind were somehow or another about bliss, kind of the right off into the sunset, live happily ever after, this narrative that we have, particularly about romantic relationships, when they are soulmates, that somehow or another you just like click together and everything is, sunshine and roses because you're just meant to be together. Well, it's not always exactly quite like that. First off, all relationships are holy. Just let that sink in for a moment, because you may wonder, well, how can that be? Particularly the relationships that seem to be hurtful or harmful. The social political environment is like, what in the world are you talking about, Rev D? How in the world can every relationship be holy? Take a breath. What makes it holy is not the content of what's happening. It's not the specifics of the activities. That's not what makes it holy. It's not the content. It is the context that makes it holy. The context that In God, we are living and moving and having our being. That everything is happening in the realm of the divine. Nothing is outside of the infinite. Listen to what I'm saying. I don't care what you call it, whether you call it God, whether you call it life, the great I am, infinite wisdom, universal love. Everybody's got their way of contextualizing it. So when I say God, just translate it into whatever that means for you. But it's all that there is. It's just all that there is. It would be like saying there's some place you can go where there's no air. It like wherever you go, there's air. That everything is happening within this atmosphere of that. So when I say that it's the context, is that yes, everything is happening within the divine and we are it. We are expressions of the only thing that is. So all relationships, regardless of what's going on, are happening between spiritual individuals, people who are not just flesh and blood. They are souls incarnate in bodies. You're not going to find anybody who's not one of those. Okay? That it's those people, those entities that are interacting with each other on the stage of life. Wow. Wow. When you realize that, you realize that there's so much more than what meets the eye. You're not as quick to judge because you don't know what's going on in somebody's life. Okay? People come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. You may not know which of those it is. And my personal opinion is that there's some combination of those. But the point is that we can't be dismissive. We can't be dismissive with this automatic assumption that just because I don't know you, just because we don't appear to have anything in common, just because it appears that we might be in some kind of polarity situation around our views, our perspectives, that you don't have anything to do with me. No, life's not like that. It's just not. Or we have this idea that there are these dividing lines where I can be in a relationship and then I'm out of relationship, and somehow or another, once I'm out of that relationship, it's got nothing to do with me anymore. It's not like that. Take a breath. Okay. Every relationship has value. Every relationship. Okay. Even if you don't like what's going on, okay, those relationships help you deepen your faith. Okay. Those relationships help you to expand, to grow, to go to deeper places of forgiveness, to dig in deeper at different places of resilience. Would I have liked it to happen under a different script? Sure. Would I have preferred it in the more scenic route? Sure. Okay. I'm not saying that everything that happens is the best and highest way that it can express. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that regardless of how it expresses, there's always a lesson there. Okay. Regardless of how it expresses, there's always some good that comes out of it. even if it's no more than to know that's something that shouldn't be repeated. There's always some good that comes out of it. Take a breath. When we go through life with that perspective, that the universe is on my side, that there are lessons to be learned, there are no real detours. There's nothing that can happen where I could be just completely lost. Like a GPS system. You may not know where you are, but the GPS system does. And if you pay attention, it's constantly rerouting to where it is that we need to be. This common mistake that we make is in this belief that somehow or another, there are relationships that should protect us, that if you really loved me, you would not hurt me, you would not do anything that would bring me like any kind of harm. That if I trust you with my secrets, if I trust you with my life, my vulnerability, that you're going to be some kind of a safe harbor where I don't have to feel intimidated or ridiculed, dismissed, valued, denigrated in any kind of way. Here's what we don't understand. Holy relationships, okay? All relationships are sacred. But it's like gradations of a learning curve. You can have sort of like basic math, then you can have like advanced quantum physics. Okay? It's all math. Just in order to get up to the higher levels, there's more that you have to learn. Okay, so it's like that with relationships. The more we learn and the more present we are with them and in them, the more we get graduated in life to higher and higher levels of intricacy, complexity, the seeming paradox of opposites being true, like at the same particular, point in time. There's a way in which we get stretched in our heart space to forgive. We can't just pack up the bat and ball and like walk away anymore. As we graduate to higher and higher levels of more difficulty and more challenging, I want you to listen to what I'm saying. The difficulty and the challenging isn't in the amount of problems. The difficulty in the challenge is in how much more is required of us to move to places of reconciliation. How much more is required of us to move into places of forgiveness? How much more is required of us to keep moving into a direction of seeing our oneness in spite of us being in, opposite camps? Okay, I call it like heavy lifting, so to speak. We get mad at that sometimes and wonder, well, why is this going on? Because you're ready for it. Well, why is this going on? Because you can. And if you just stayed in the cushy second grade math, you'll never learn algebra. Okay, you'll never learn calculus. You'll never learn the next things. We have a tendency to want to get to a certain place and coast. Just coast. It's like we want to say to the universe, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to figure anything else out. I don't need to deal with any more stuff. No, I'm just going to stay right here. Well, the universe never colludes in our smallness. Okay? The universe never colludes in our staying stuck. That's not what happened. There's a line in the affirmation about being appreciative of how we are mirrors and reflections of one another. I know this is not something that any of us want to hear. It's not something that any of us like to hear. But I am telling you that we are all mirrors and reflections of one another. The universe is so precise. The universe is so exacting, where it gets just the right people together with just the right combination of issues that they are in fact mirroring each other. They may not be perceiving it the same way, but invariably, if I'm in some kind of situation where I am counseling people, I don't care what it is. It could be friendship, it could be co-worker things, it could be siblings, parent, child, spousal or significant others. It doesn't matter. Okay. It's always the same thing. That underneath it all, in whatever this impact is, that somehow or another, each side is thinking the exact same thing about the other. Okay. You're trying to control. No, you're trying to control. Okay. You hurt me. No, you hurt me. They're thinking the same thing. How could you do this to me? How could you do this to me? Okay. Just take a breath. I didn't get this at first, but I really, really, really understand it now. When we get close to people, we're setting ourselves up to be stand-ins in their scenarios of healing that they have to go through. You can't heal what you don't feel. In order for us to really heal something, the universe kind of like recreates the scene, so to speak. There are enough situations and circumstances and things that are going on that remind us of something that we went through before. In those moments, a lot of times we experience it as a re-traumatization. And we're pissed because we've already told ourselves, I'm never going to get in this situation again. Okay. This is classic. Not too long ago, I was working with two people about this. Let's just call them Pat and Chris. Okay. So Pat and Chris had known each other for a very long time, had been very close through the years, and then it had these falling outs. So as I'm sitting there and I'm talking to both of them, it became so clear that they were in the holy relationship drama. Okay? Essentially, each of them was experiencing the other one in their own places of woundedness. So to Pat, Chris is like a mother stand-in, controlling, not really believing in him, that there's judgment, can't please this person, all this stuff. And I might be mixing up the names, but you get it. But to the other one, to Pat, Chris is, or I think to Chris, Pat is the domineering dad. And they can't find their voice. They just can't find their voice. They just like shut down whenever things are getting too heated. And I'm simplifying it just to give you this sense, but like doing this drama, back and forth. And when the other one said to the other one, will you remind me of my mother? What you're doing is like what my mother did. The other one gets extremely offended. It's like, but your mother's an awful person, they're thinking. And the fact that you could even put me in that category and even think of me like that is hurtful. Okay. See how this stuff plays out. And what I explained to him, and I said, look, the fact that this person could see you that way. What I asked them both is, whatever this is that you're feeling, this betrayal or hurt from the other person, is it new? Is this something that you've never felt before? Of course, the answer is no. I said, is it familiar at some level? Have you felt this kind of victimization, this kind of dismissal? Like, have you felt this before? Like, how long ago? And I invite you to ask your own selves those questions when these moments come up. Because there's only one of us here. There really is. And we become these stand-ins. What I explained to them is that in your mind, you're thinking this other person knows your wounds. And if they really loved you, they wouldn't do anything to push those buttons, so to speak. They wouldn't do anything to pour any kind of salt in that wound. That your job in this holy relationship is to make sure I never feel that way again, to protect me from that. It's the opposite. Just breathe that in. It's the opposite. When we get close, it creates a safe enough environment for us to feel what we used to feel before, but to do it with people that actually love us, that actually care about us, the people that actually don't want to harm us. It becomes our challenge to separate the two. To not get the other person mixed up in my drama and in my story, to extricate them from that so that we can just be present and say, you know what? I get it. I know why I'm triggered. You did such and such a thing, and it reminded me of whatever. And this drama that we're doing here together, it isn't even about us. It's about my old stuff. It's about my old stuff. When we're able to literally evolve to that, not get into the divisive separation, not get into the othering because, you hurt me, you disappointed me, you betrayed me, you did this thing to me like everybody else did. Move beyond that. When you assume responsibility for your own healing, when you assume responsibility for your own walk with God, then you realize that you are perfect, whole, and complete already. You don't need these other people to validate you. You don't need them to make you okay. You don't need to be able to see yourself through their eyes in order for you to know that you have value and that you have worth. So we're doing this to each other all the time. We're trying to get from each other what we need to give to our own selves. We're trying to get from each other the things that we need to know deep inside that is between us and our God. This is true on the personal level. This is true on the political level. The only thing that ever needs to be healed is just the sense of separation. Okay? So all of the things are out of control rhetoric, they're trying to get us, they're trying to hurt us, they're trying to take us down, all of the, I don't care who's doing it. We're out of relationship with the divine. We're out of relationship with the divine. Okay. I'm not saying that you get into spiritual bypass and you don't acknowledge the other things that people are doing. What I'm saying is that you don't let it define you. You don't let it define you. Okay. You got to show up equal. You have to know that you're whole. You have to know that you're complete. You cannot have that in the hands of anybody else. Trust me, we're seeing it in the social political environment now. The traumatization, the psychological terror to try to convince you that you don't have any power, to try to convince you that you're lower than or you're less than or you need to cave in. Take a breath. But even that circumstance is a holy relationship in the sense that if I elevated in my mind, if I elevated to us all being spiritual beings, then I see all of that as not just oppressive efforts. I see it as a prayer request. A prayer request where people have spiritual amnesia. They don't know who they are. They don't know their connection to the divine. And because they don't know their connection to the divine, they don't know their divine connection to you or your connection to the divine. That's the only way you can hurt people, is when you don't know that. When you don't know it. So these situations give us an opportunity to correct, to come back, to remember, to reinforce, to keep the light on, to keep the light on. Listen to what I'm saying. You can die on that cross that they've put you on, or you can get into the forgive them for they know not what they do, and you resurrect. Take a breath. If you get off the triangle, the drama triangle of victim, villain, and hero, if we get off of that and just say everything is here for a lesson, everything is here to learn something. I might not like the way that it's packaged, but I'm not going to miss the lesson complaining about the package. And I say over and over and over again, your best moments of growth of transition, of awakening have been in those tough moments that you didn't like. And the growth came with you renaming it, changing your narrative about it, changing your narrative to get off that victim, villain, hero triangle thing, where you can just talk about the facts. It's not, oh, he left me and cheated on me and, ran away with the secretary, blah, blah, blah. It said, you know what? At the point in time when we dissolved the marriage, I began to find myself. I didn't even realize who I was, being so consumed in that relationship, worrying about everything that he was doing. It was really hard, but it was a liberation that my soul needed. I was really upset when my daughter came home with this person from whatever, gonna marry. I thought she was making a big mistake in her life. And I just couldn't accept it. I couldn't accept this person. And just for years, I didn't open up my heart. And then my daughter had this accident. And her spouse, her partner, just was there in ways and supporting beyond anything that I could imagine. And I got to see what real true love was like. He didn't bail. He didn't run. And we wound up sharing the caregiving together. And now I have a son-in-law. It pushed me beyond my prejudices. But I'm so glad that I don't think that way anymore. I would have continued to miss the people like the one my daughter married. See, these holy relationships, and I know any of you who've raised children, particularly teenagers, know exactly what I'm talking about. They take you to the brink. And in them, you are replaying traumas and dramatizations that happened between you and your parents, or stuff that was generational, things that you knew you were just getting away from, and whoop, here it is now, and your son. What the? I spent all this time trying to get away from this. I can't believe this. Because it's holy relationship. Because it's more healing. Okay? If you only, and I'll end with this. I love the way that Khalil Gibran puts it in his book, The Prophet, in his section on love. It's something like, if you only seek love's joy and its pleasure, then you should leave its threshing floors, okay, where you will laugh, but not all of your laughter, where you will cry, but not all of your tears. Okay. How love makes you ascend to the highest heights, and yet it shakes you and you're quivering to the ground, that it will blow your dreams away. That all of these things that love will do and need you till you're pliable and put you in the fire so that you become sacred bread for God's holy feast. This is the nature of holy relationships. They help us all step into our greater yet to be. Don't be disappointed when it isn't all bliss. That doesn't mean that things are amiss. Let's take it to prayer. With every breath, we breathe into that awareness that all things are working together for our good. In ways we can't always see, we may not even understand. But we give thanks for the inner peace that passes all human understanding. For the joy even in the midst of the circumstances, where we don't have to be happy with what's going on to still feel that joy. This is a day that the Lord has made. We rejoice and are glad in it. Take a breath. We dare to create a new we beyond us and them. But a place first in our own consciousness where we can live together in harmony and freedom. And although my mind wants to wander off and try to figure out all of the specifics of how is that going to come to be in the manifest world, what I know is at first the roots, then the fruit. What I know is that we cannot achieve something that we can't even conceive. And if it feels Pollyannish to us in some kind of way, to talk about living together in peace and in harmony, how are we ever going to bring it into manifestation? So we dare to dream. And I say thank you. Thank you for the opportunities to love you. Thank you for the opportunities to forgive you. This is the consciousness that we allow ourselves to get into. That there's only one of us here. I empathize with your struggles. I want the best for your family as much as I want for my own. That there's room enough for all. Thank you, Mother, Father God, for providing for our needs. That every person be fed, and clothed, and housed. That those of us from countries that are rich and prosperous, to whom much is given, much is required, that we accept our sacred responsibility to circulate the bounty that we're blessed with, to join hands all around the world in uplifting, ridding ourselves of war, turning around ecological degradation, fueling so many hardships and famine. Oh, we can do better. When we see ourselves in holy relationship with everyone around the planet, we cannot help but act. It's like we can't see our own children starving and do nothing. All the children are ours. We all belong to one another. Thank you, God, for the graciousness of heart to do what ought to be done. I say thank you for the miracles, big and small, and you, they're all the same. For the healing of the body temple, for the financial sustenance and wherewithal for every person, for the compassion, the integrity, for the global good and relationship, for all leaders around the world to be in cooperation and collaboration for peace. I give thanks for right order, right action, for things unfolding as they should. God's perfect timing. This is the prayer. Breathe it in. We are indeed a praying community. If you have a prayer request, there's something on your mind. Could be you personally, could be a loved one, could be something in the outer environment. You don't have to go it alone. We're here for you. We have prayer practitioners, people who've studied years, at least 4 years, to be able to energetically hold this space for you. They're also there to help you with the good stuff, to stand in agreement with you for the things that are unfolding, to make sure that those happen in the most magnificent way. You'll see the numbers and the information, how to reach us, scrolling across your screen. You can give us a call at 831-465-9090 at extension 254. You can send us an email at the number 4 and the word prayer at innerlightministries.com. Thank you. We're pleased to support you. Yes, if you are looking at this in real time, as we're airing on August the 17th, 2025. If you're in the Santa Cruz area, this particular one is just in person only. I apologize for that. And I think it's important that we do get together for this. It'll show up on your screen now. It's a play shop called Pulled by Vision. It's changing our political conversation. It's free. It is going to be held at Temple Bethel in the Aptos area of Santa Cruz, right next door to Cabrillo College. Inner Light Ministries is the main coordinator of this, and we're doing this in conjunction with Temple Bethel and Centers for Spiritual Living. We're going to be there on Monday, okay? Which is tomorrow night, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. There's registration that's there. If for some reason you haven't registered or you want to bring somebody that isn't registered, yes, just come on. We can get your information when you get there. Please try to leave early enough to get parking. Sometimes it can get a little crowded there. In this play shop, we're going to be using spiritual principles. We're going to be using the visioning process. And we're going to be visioning about some of the most challenging issues in our social political arena, like the democracy, immigration, climate change, electoral politics, education, global relations. The work will happen in small groups. I'm the lead facilitator, but we have 19 facilitators that are on standby to be able to work in small groups with you. You don't have to bring anything. There'll be a love offering at the end, but we bring and provide all of the markers and crayons and worksheets. You know, everything will be there. All you need to do is just show up and bring someone. It's an extraordinary opportunity for us to recalibrate our energy and uplift the collective vibration. So I want to invite you to come to participate in that and spread the word. Yes. I also invite you to participate in the conscious giving, the conscious contribution, that time for us to support, to make sure that this consciousness is multiplying. We're an independent spiritual community. And everything that we do through the donations, through the offerings, yes, even the full-on tithing, by people who believe in it, by people who want to see it happen, by people who hear that call to do that. You'll see on your screen, there are a number of ways that you can make that contribution. You can use a mobile device, use the QR code that's there. It'll allow you to use any debit, credit card. Also, text to give will allow you to use any debit, credit card. And both of those have a recurring option, which I definitely encourage you to consider. You'll see there that there's also Zelle and Venmo, which are both quite popular. It is accounting at innerlightministries.com for both of those. You can put that in there as the username. You see there's also Cash App, which is $ Innerlight Ministries. If you're on the website, you can just go right there. There are donate buttons that are there. If you want to mail in, you can send a check to P.O. Box 1029 in Soquel, California, 95073. And regardless of the methodology that you choose, know that every nickel, dollar, and dime is going towards healing. It's going towards growth. It's going towards transformation. That's what we're doing here. I also want to remind you that it's not a one-way street. Okay, your giving comes back to you. Okay, as we bless these gifts and tithes right now, I just know that our every act produces abundance, and we dare to give freely unto the truth that sets us free. We release this gift knowing it returns to us 1,000-fold. Yes. And remember that. Your generosity returns to you. Yes, I say thank you for spending this time with us. Please come back, go over the affirmations again on our website, on the YouTube channel. Like us on YouTube or in social media as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I want to invite you to do that. And until next time, take this consciousness and multiply it. See you soon.